They got Robbie Williams playing it one night. He came in to sing for us. And he joined in. It was brilliant.
God.
Very good.
You know, today is the day that everybody has been waiting for, and you know why, don't you? That's right. It's the Traitors final tonight. But also, see what I did there, Gareth? Sorry, Gareth. It's the day that this book in my hand is out. It's called Dear England, Lessons in Leadership, which is hard to say if you've got a lisp. Chris Eubank hates this book already.
He won't read it just for that, just on principle.
And it is the new book by Mr. Gareth Southgate. Hey. Morning, Gareth.
Good morning. I'm super excited about the Traitors as well, by the way.
Have you been watching it?
I have. We used to play it with the team.
Did you?
So, yeah. Well, I mean, it was the card version, so it was Wolves and Villagers, bit of a different theme, but the same game, basically. The players loved it, absolutely loved it.
Well, who was good at it?
Well, Connor Cody was the sort of narrator, so he brought it to the group. And when we were in Qatar for the World Cup, I'd go to bed at fairly early because I'm finished. They're all playing this game around the poolside, and you'd hear these werewolf noises coming across in the middle of the night. So yeah, they absolutely loved it. They got Robbie Williams playing it one night. He came in to sing for us, and he joined in. It was brilliant.
God.
Very good.
Such fun times. Such fun times. Well, this is what the book is. This is from Sir Gareth Southgate. Do you know what? I've written some silly questions for the end of our chat, but I'm just going to come in now. Do you ever use your Sir? Have you ever used your Sir title?
When I give job references for people.
Oh, yes.
That's nice.
That's really good.
Because I think it might just, in my own head, it might just help them. Other than that, let's just stick with Gareth, Chris. You've known me long enough.
And has it worked when you've done the job references?
I don't think anybody's got a job since, so no.
So today, your book is out. Seriously, what a cool thing to do. What a great thing to have a book.
I am excited. Because of the job I held, obviously I got asked to do memoirs, and I wasn't really interested in that. I think when you're a coach, you've got to be very careful about what's discussed about players. But for years doing the job and years after, or the period after, I keep travelling to businesses, schools. I'd go and meet other coaches, and so many people had similar problems and trying to build teams and manage mavericks and how do you handle pressure. And so although the football bit is different to somebody's business, all of the other issues were very similar. And I thought, well, if I can share some of the things I definitely got wrong, would have done differently, some of the things that went well for us and how we did it, then hopefully it might help some other people.
Well, you're right, because my dad's retired, and he was a postman for the majority of his life, and I've worked in radio for the majority of my life. Yet me and him could still sit down and talk about work, bosses, overtime, schedules, the fact that management don't have a clue what they're doing. That kind of thing. Yeah. Even though we're in two different worlds. So it's called Lessons in Leadership. So if I read all of this book from cover to cover, will I be the boss of Radio X in a few weeks' time?
Well, you'll be a better boss.
You're right.
Oh, that's good.
You're right.
Yeah. Good.
Couldn't get any worse, though, could you, than Matt Deverson? I love what you're saying there. I love you slagged off Matt Deverson. My name is Matt Deverson. Do not slag me off, Sir Gareth Southgate. And did you sit down and write it yourself?
It's been a long process because, I'm quite old, Chris, so a lot of things have happened in my life, and you're trying to think which bits would vaguely interest people and which bits might they learn something from. So, I think a good example would be when I became manager of Middlesbrough. I think lots of people would be in that position where they're a young person, they're good at one aspect of the job, they get a promotion, and they're now having to manage other people, and it's a whole different skill set, and they probably haven't got time to do the thing they really loved doing, which was why they originally started in the job. So I think some of those things for young leaders might reassure them that it's okay not to know everything at the start. So
would you have been, I'm trying to work out the timeline, would you have been about 36 when you started managing Middlesbrough?
Yeah, I literally, we played Europa League final, I was 35, coming up 36.
Wow.
I still going through my coaching qualifications. So people say, oh, he failed at Middlesbrough and didn't do this, and you think, well, yeah, of course, because it was like when I was comparing a 16-year-old apprentice player to when I was a 28-year-old international. How can you possibly know everything at the start? Things are going to go wrong.
And is it one of those things where you just have to have the confidence to go, look, this is what I want to do. This is what I think. This is how I think the game should be played. I'm just going to act it all out. Or do you look back now at it and go, yeah, no, I had totally had the wrong attitude, or it was a bit 50-50, or I didn't know what I was doing, or no, I love the fact that I had no ceiling. What is it when you look back at the Middlesbrough, your first kind of days of management?
Yeah, I think they've got one of the best owners in the country, Steve Gibson. And I think what he knew was that I had leadership skills. I'd been his captain, I'd been in leadership positions. So that bit, I knew how to talk to players. I knew how to get the personal side, but you don't know the nuts and bolts of managing. I'd never chaired meetings. I'd never line managed people. I'd never had to create tactical plans and put them into action on the training pitch. Recruitment is such a massive thing for any business. And so you're just learning all the time, and that process of learning is very stressful. And of course, in the Premier League, that's a very stressful environment anyway. So,
who do you speak to? When at that point, who do you get advice from? Who do you take advice from? Because obviously, there's been so many managers of so many different teams throughout all of the decades in English football alone, but you take a great manager, right? Like, let's say somebody who might have been at Forest, might have been a big character in the world of football, and you go, well, if I did what he did, then I won't last 2 minutes.
Young man.
Yeah, exactly. If I walk into the dressing room and go, now then, S-House, or whatever, but he achieved greatness. Like, who did you have? Could you pick the phone up and go, hey, what do I do here?
Yeah, you definitely, I mean, at the time, bless him, Terry Venables, I'd played with England. I know his spell at Leeds wasn't perhaps his finest hour, Chris, so you might have a slightly different opinion.
Nobody's spell at Leeds was their finest hour.
But, and even Bobby Robson at the time came to visit me when I was at Middlesbrough. He'd finished managing and he was writing a newspaper column, and he came. And so, picking the brains of those people, when I was an older coach, I then had great networks with other coaches that are doing, great things in British sport. So I got to know Eddie Jones well, Steve Borthwick from England Rugby, got to know Toto Wolff, got to know people like Arsene Wenger really well. So it's really helpful to be able to pick people's brains, and very often it just reassures you that you're not the only person going through those problems.
Yeah,
they're all facing similar things, whereas I think when you're a young manager, you think you're the only one.
Is there one, Gareth, would you say, is there one skill that all those people share, the people you've just name-checked there, that they've all got that thing in common, whatever that X-factor thing is?
Well, I think the really successful people, they clearly have an insatiable drive. They constantly want to compete. But they're actually humble enough to realise that they've got to keep learning, that there's always new things to pick up. They're curious. They want to get better at what they do. But their leadership styles are all different. And to your point about Cloughie, no use me trying to be Cloughie. I'm not Cloughie. I don't have those attributes. I'm not wired the same way. So, and people smell it. If you're not being authentic and you're not being yourself, then actually that's a turn off for people. If you're their leader, I think they'll smell the fact that you're not being genuine. So you've got to do it your own way, but at the same time take little bits and pieces that you think from other people that might help you to be better.
See, what do I do though? Because I'm clearly
what do you mean?
At the top of my game.
Right.
You're
at the top of the tree
I'm
now.
at my peak.
Sure.
Ain't no one better than me at this.
This is it.
So I just
struggle.
I guess I just sit back on my laurels, right?
Well, you have cracked it. Consistency over a long period of time, Chris. You can't knock that. Do you know what it is? Hard to criticise.
It's because everyone else is rubbish. I think that's if I'd have come through in the 80s, I might have struggled. But it's
these days.
I mean, you look around the radio dial. Good God, that's why I've lasted. But it's in. Looking at the numbers, it's not until I sit and work it all out. So you started managing Middlesbrough in 2006. And 10 years later, just 10 years later, you're managing the England senior team. That's an incredible thing. So you just said a few minutes ago, when you manage at Middlesbrough and people say, no, I didn't really work out for you or anything like that. But it just shows you that the things that you were learning and the abilities and the skills that you had and you were gaining took you to where you were the man for the England senior team in just 10 short years. Are you proud of that?
Well, there is also the aspect that there was nobody else at that stage to do it. But, let's gloss over that.
Let's get rid of that thing, Gareth. That's fine.
But no, I mean, hopefully what it shows people is that when those things go wrong, we got relegated at Middlesbrough. I got sacked the season after. But there is always a way back from those things. If you go away, you reflect on where you fell short. What are the things I need to get better at? And then I had a chance to go and work with the FA. It was mainly on youth development, trying to create a better landscape for young English players. That's why I joined there. And then somehow I stumbled into the seniors job, and we had a pretty good experience for 8 years or so. But
it's tricky because it's an unusual thing. It's not like there are so many other factors in play when you are managing a team. It's not just you. If I do this, if they train like that, if we play that formation, if I bring on these subs, yes, good, great, we're good to go. Because there's all the other factors that are totally out of your control. You mentioned Toto Wolff, for example. Toto Wolff can get the strategy 100% right, and lights out, and away they go, and the driver in the car next to them runs into their driver, and they're both off, and that's it. There's nothing you can do to prevent that, and I've always said this thing about football. As a fan, when you watch the game, and this is an interesting question with probably no answer. So last weekend, Leeds United were away at Brighton, right? We were rubbish, right? I watched the game. I flew on VPN Airways to Spain, and I watched the game. And so many players in that team who were clearly got skills, and only the week before were amazing. It just didn't click. It was like 11 players just had an off day, but coincidentally all on the same day. And that can you do anything about that? You can't, can you though?
Well, there are days where, having been a player, you wake up, you don't feel quite right. You're not a machine. We're not F1 cars.
Yeah.
There are human aspects to that where you get a couple of players that are below par, and it's strange. Those things can spread through a team. It's amazing how that does happen on certain days. But what you're trying to do is, make those days the exception. So, across, one of the things I'm proudest of is that across 8 years, we had pretty consistent results, pretty consistent performances. And that's where you want to be. If your processes are right, results will, especially in football, there's lots of random things happen. It's a low scoring game. You can actually play really badly and win.
Yeah.
And you can play really play well and lose.
Yeah.
So when we were reviewing our performances, we'd always say, look, we won today, but if we keep playing that way, then we're going to be beaten over the long term, and we've got to be better at this, and this. And so, yes, you've got to accept you can't control everything. And as a national team manager, you control even less because the players aren't with you for the majority of time. So you've got to really impact in a short period of time.
You were and will be in the history books forever as a great England manager.
Yep.
A great England manager. It's a thankless task being the England manager. And I say that, and this is true. If a new person came in to manage the England team and got through to the final of the World Cup and lost, And then the next day announced, I am going to re-sign. I'm going to get us to the final in 4 years. We're going to win it, and I'll resign the next day. And that happened. And then they resign the next day. All the fans would go, what are you resigning for, you stupid idiot? What are you doing, you moron? So you can never win. I hope you look back at it and go, do you know what? I did the best job I could, and I did a bloody great job. I'm happy with that. And now I'm going to Leeds United to manage that.
Oh, is that what that's what it is? You're buttering him up.
No.
We see through that.
No.
It is a bonkers job. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I think I sometimes say you've got the royals, and bar perhaps the odd little girl who grows up wants to be a princess. Everybody realises that's a hard world to be in. You've probably got the prime minister who, nobody really much fancies that job. But England manager, I mean, everybody thinks they are the England manager, never mind wants to be it. So, that's where it sits, really.
What is next for yourself in the world of football, managing Leeds United?
Well, I think I like their manager, and I think he's a good guy. That's definitely, he's going to be there for forever. I'm not rushing for a job in football. One of the things I'm really enjoying, I've been talking a lot about the landscape for young men, especially, and the importance of finding perhaps mentors for young people.
Right.
There's a lack of male role models for youngsters, and young men in particular. We've got an opportunity to influence their lives. There's such a negative narrative about our country at the minute, and I think we've got to try to help young people get through that. And I've met a lot of people my sort of age, or obviously most of them are younger, but who want to help young people, and who might want to mentor and are asking where they should go. So something in that sort of space really interests me, because I think we can. We've got so much talent in our country, so many good kids that just need people to believe in them and give them opportunities. And we've got to change the narrative that, we're all doomed and it's heading in a, that's not what being British is about. We've got to be more positive about what's possible, really.
That sounds a really lovely path to go down, very worthwhile. I commend you for it. But you're not ruling football out.
Well, I've just seen Martin O'Neill go to Celtic at 70-odd years old, so I suppose you should never say never.
Anything's possible, yeah.
The book is out today. It's called Dear England, Lessons in Leadership from Gareth Southgate. Get a copy of that, stick it next to the bed, read a little bit every night before you go to bed, and enrich your life. Lovely to see you. All the best.
Great to see you, Chris. Take care, mate.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gareth Southgate.
Radio X.